In the 1940s and 1950s, Nigeria was a hotbed of political activism. This was a period of heightened social and political consciousness, with the formation of political parties and the negotiations for Nigeria's independence already gaining momentum. One of the most significant fallouts of the political jockeying of the period was the establishment in October 1959 of the WNTV, the first television station in sub-Saharan Africa.
Ladies and gentlemen, a few events in my life have given me so much pleasure as to come before you tonight to open formally the first television network in Africa.
It was during this period and in an atmosphere filled with a mixture of hope, anticipation, anxiety and excitement that one of the personalities that would come to define and greatly influence Nigerian television was born. Tunde Oloyede was born on the 3rd of April 1947 in Ugbamoje compound, Oketoro quarters in Ekiti, a town in the present Ekiti state of southwest Nigeria. His father, the late SP Oloyede, was a former teacher and well-respected member of the elite in Ekiti land. His mother, Grace Oloyede, a genial lady fondly called Mama Laiton. Together, they helped the young Tunde Oloyede cultivate a strong sense of value for standards, a quality that will become a defining feature of his career and personality. Tunde Oloyede showed that he was destined to be a leader. He made friends naturally with both young and old alike.
We grew up in the same environment, Onyekiti, to be precise. He happens to be an Egbon to me. Onyekiti was very young then because they moved from the old site to the new site. And Egbon happens to be one of our role models in those days.
His love for creative expression was manifest quite early in life. He was a naturally talented person who loved to entertain others with singing, dancing, and acting.
When we were very young, he was always interested in dancing. I grew up to know him as a very fine dancer, and that time he concentrated mostly on Indian songs, Indian films, to the extent that his nickname originally was Paddy Shankar. Right from the beginning, he's always been tuned towards this field.
While most cannot recall the exact moment they met Tunde Oloyede, none can forget the impact he has had on their life or their career.
I've always known Chief as someone I could go to and take advice because everywhere that I was at that time, he had been. So for me, it's almost impossible to nail down exactly the day I met him. But surely, looking back now, I'm absolutely so happy and thankful to God that I met him because he was able to somehow, over these many years, help me find my way.
I met Egbons, I would say 1997. I was posted to Media International as a guard. At that time when I came, I didn't know what they do there. I was blank as to what happens in Media International. So I was like, these people I'm saying, these are the same people I see on TV on a daily basis. What do they do here? That rose my curiosity. So I began to dig deep into what is happening there. And I began to talk to one or two of the staff, and they're like, you can meet him, you can talk to him. He's a simple man. Anybody can talk to him. It just depends on you, if you have the courage. So there is this fateful day. He just came to check around one Sunday like that. And I'm like, this is a golden opportunity for me to tell him. And I approached him. And I said, well, if you resign from your security company, just let me know. I was like, yeah, really? That's simple? I'm not exaggerating. That night, I wrote my resignation letter, and that was it. I started working in Media International as a production assistant.
To many, it simply was a part of their lives, a permanent fixture, albeit a welcome one.
Chief, I mean, you know, for me, because of the huge difference that was in our experiences, our reputation, our age, Chief was much more to me a father. But he was absolutely, he just indulged me, is what I could say.
For me, I think I'm like his heartbeats. Sorry, mommy. We just have this beautiful heart. It's like you have a body. I'm trying to describe that. If you know, it's such a kindred spirit kind of relationship. It's such a big-hearted, such joy. He is a great guy.
Tunde Oloyede studied sociology at the University of Ibadan. He, however, spent much of his time at the Arts Theatre with the theatre students. His love for the arts was so great that he decided to pursue a diploma program in theatre arts.
He was known to have been always in the theatre department, even when he was reading sociology. So it was quite natural for him, after his degree in sociology, for him to now come in to do the PGD, which is what is called the conversion course in theatre arts at the University of Ibadan.
It was at the University of Ibadan that he would forge some of the friendships that would last a lifetime and have profound impact on his personal and professional life.
We gelled very well. He was much older. I was a very young student then, but he took very good liking to us, and we did quite a number of things together. We went out together, and he was big brother taking us around and all of that.
He was a very good actor and could play musical instruments.
Tunde is a multi-talented person. He's not just a producer, he's also an artist. He does not just produce people, he himself is an artist. He's good on the talking drum. Being a Wole Soyinka person, he's also good on the stage. I can remember very vividly when he acted during this Isiburu that was shown on stage at the National Theatre. It was fascinating. For those of us that knew him as a producer, we were just wondering how he was being produced on stage, because he acted that part perfectly, and honestly, you want that play to come on stage again and again.
Following the completion of his postgraduate program in theatre arts, Tunde Oloyede joined the NTA in 1972 on the recommendation of Dr. Christopher Kolade, who was himself a veteran broadcaster and one-time Director General of the Nigerian Broadcasting Corporation. That was the beginning of a career that would last a lifetime, and during which he would leave an indelible mark, not only on the large and diverse number of individuals, but on an entire industry. At the NTA, the young Tunde Oloyede left no one in doubt about his passionate devotion to the motion picture medium, his creativity, and his relentless drive for the highest standards.
He lives and breathes his work. When he's directing, putting a show together, putting a project together for television, he's in his element.
Inevitably, these qualities ensured that he ended up having responsibility for some of the most important assignments in the NTA. Adebayo Salami is one of the most recognizable and enduring faces in the performing arts. He recalls one of such occasions that led to his acquaintanceship with Tunde Oloyede.
I met him when he was a producer with NTA Channel 10. At that time, my boss still living. That's Ojoladipo himself, because we were running Ojoladipo Theatre then. We have a program on the telly then, they gave us 15 minutes in a program called Baby Show, produced by Oladile Bankolimo, anchored by Art Alade. Then they just gave us 15 or 10 minutes there to do comedy sketch. They decided to give us 30 minutes program. They created the program for us there. That was when I met him, because they assigned him as our producer.
It was here in 1972 that Tunde Oloyede took over the responsibility of producing The Village Headmaster from Sanya Dosumu. He ended up as the longest-serving producer of the program, going on to produce and direct 364 episodes over a 7-year period. On The Village Headmaster, Tunde Oloyede's creativity and innovation came to the fore. He was responsible for creating many characters that became household names on the series.
I started with Tisha Solomon and later promoted to Oroge of Oja, a contractor.
Tunde Oloyede is one of the most significant figures in the Nigerian creative industry.
I worked with him a lot. A lot. He is the one that transformed the Anijo Theatre into television. He did that with my group, that's the Ojoladipo group. He did that with Oshumari group. He did that with Onyadejobi group as well. He's somebody who wants progress for everything. When we lost our leader, he did a fantastic effort to make sure that that group did not die.
One of the ways he has expressed this creativity is in the creation of many beloved characters.
For the life of me, I don't know why he thought I could act. He cast me as Isibru on the erstwhile television series Isibru. After that, he cast me on more television programs.
While he endeavored to maintain a friendly disposition with his cast and crew, he was never afraid to make the difficult calls.
Work is work, and time for kidding around is time for kidding around. So he was professional, and he knew his onions, which was why we were able to get things done. We were able to get a 1-hour production done in 1 week. He was professional. He was good at his job as well.
His legacy at the NTA is one that has been difficult to match even to the present time.
The Village Headmaster had faces. It's only the actors that were constant. Even faces in the writing, in the development of the project. But I think that perhaps more than any of the other producers, Tunde Oloyede did a lot. And perhaps more than any of the other producers, had a good working relationship with the cast. And I think that helped him a lot.
Perhaps one of the most difficult calls he had to make was the decision to call time on his career at the NTA. Tunde Oloyede preferred to keep firm control on the trajectory of his own career.
There was this young man who graduated long after Tunde Oloyede. But because he had a northern background, his promotion in the NTA was very rapid. It's not a northern now, an honorable young man. But he grew up in the north. And so it was rumored that he was coming to head the NTA drama department. Tunde called me and said, Bayo, this guy will not meet me here. He will not meet me here. I'm leaving. And true enough, in less than 1 month, he left to join Linters.
At Linters, Tunde brought his characteristic passion and fearlessness in pursuit of excellence to bear on his work. As a result, some of the most acclaimed commercials of that era bore the unmistakable imprint of Tunde Oloyede's creativity. Ever the restless spirit, Tunde Oloyede soon yielded to the layer of entrepreneurship. Upon leaving Linters, he formed his own production company, Media International.
Media International was where everybody went to be part of whatever was going on.
His impact on the independent filmmaking industry was near immediate. Media International would go on to gain a reputation as the go-to production company for award-winning television commercials.
Given what Tunde had done on Village Headmaster, which was basically telling stories about what happens in the school environment and what happens in the village environment, all those kind of things, I was very quick to recognize that, given his own background, he would be able to interpret our scripts even beyond what we wanted. And it is that interpretation, so that you would take every line of the script and put the kind of support that was required to make the story come alive in a very compelling manner. So Tunde was extremely good at that. And the end product of the kind of commercials he shot for us at that time, if you remember, I think the first one he shot for us was Baku Super Sack. And we shot 3 different episodes of Baku Super Sack. And wow, everybody, they applauded, they remembered the commercial, and it brought us fame.
Perhaps one of the reasons for the runaway success of Media International is Tunde Oloyede's insistence on finding and working with the best talent, regardless of who they were or where they came from.
He's the most detribalized Nigerian that I know, because his friend cut across, tribes and all that. He has friends in the north, he has friends in the east, and he has friends. He's just generally friendly towards people. Everybody that comes across him or his home is welcome.
It is this endearing quality of his, an insistence on treating everyone fairly in any circumstance, that eventually brought him one of the most significant recognitions in his personal life: the traditional title of Chief Iwaloye of Alade Idore.
Chief Babatunde Oloyede. Now that chief is very important. It's only given to people who have contributed to their community. And he never asked for it. They offered it to him. He more than deserved it, because he has contributed quite a lot to his community.
One of the most storied aspects of Tunde Oloyede's life has to do with the lady who was to become his life partner. Together, through thick and thin, and despite the intensity of their professional lives, they have raised a family that is admired by all. To Tunde Oloyede, family is a sacred institution, a valuable gift that must never be taken for granted.
I actually recall the first day that I met Tunde Oloyede, because it happened to be my first day of employment at the then NBC TV. It was the 1st of September, 1975. And I was actually sitting in the office of the man who was the head of the drama department, who then was Mr. Taye Ayorinde. Now he's a ballet. I was sitting in his office, and then he called for his deputy. And his deputy walked into his office, and his deputy happened to be Tunde Oloyede. And I was introduced to him, and well, it's not really a new story, but I told him my name, which at that time was an English name, and he rejected it on the spot and asked me if I did not have a different name, at least a native name of some sort. And I said, yes, I did, and I told him, and he said, okay, so from today, we shall call you Bimbo Roberts. We've actually been married for 39 years. Next year makes it 40. And it's been a roller coaster of a life, I would say. I think there have been 2 things, actually, that have kept us going all this time. One is that we have similar interests in the jobs that we do.
both production and presentation. And the other is that I think from the word go, we have actually been good friends. And somehow, you know, there are things that you are willing to accept from friends. There are issues that arise that you are willing to forgive if somebody is your friend, rather than if you just look at somebody as your wife or your husband. So having been friends all these years, I think we've been able to find a balance somehow. I respect his space and he respects mine. Definitely, I can't forget the good times or the good moments when the children were born. I certainly cannot forget the bad moment when we lost our first daughter. Good times again when our grandchildren were also born. Given the same circumstances, I would make the same choice.
Truly, this has been a remarkable life.